pé nínú ìṣòro tí ń kojú wa òun ni àwọn òbí tí wọ́n máa ń sọ ọmọ wọn lákẹ́bàjẹ́ akẹ́jù akẹ́yọ̀dín táwọn èèyàn máa ń fi ń kẹ́ ọmọ wọn pé kí òbí kan kọ́ ọmọ wọn láti lè dágbé tí ò bá sí wọn bẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ tún sọ nípa bí Nàìjíríà ṣe bàjẹ́ tí àwọn òbí tí wọ́n mọ̀ lọ léèwé láti lọ sanwó fọ́gá láti pàṣẹ àwọn ọmọ wọn. Wọ́n ní gbogbo eléyìí òun ni tó ń dá wàhálà sílẹ̀. Wọ́n dẹ̀ tún sọ nípa àwọn opó ìṣòro tó ń kojú àwọn opó ní Nàìjíríà àti ìgbésẹ̀ tí ẹgbẹ́ wọn tí wọ́n ń sojú CAN tí ó ń gbé lórí ẹ̀. Láti tẹ̀síwájú, we are going to be inviting our brother who is representing the National Human Rights Commission, Barrister Ali Radamu, to please share his own opinion about the subject matter. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Assalamu alaikum, Jama'ah. So I bring good tidings from the National Human Rights Chief Executive Officer in person of Chief Dr. Tony Ojukwu, SAN of AR. He would have loved to be here actually, he told me himself personally, but for other exigency, he asked that I should represent him. The National Human Rights Commission is an agency of government that some of you are aware of, and the major work that the commission does is the issue of promotion, protection, and enforcement of human rights. As an individual or an entity, you have rights in several other aspects of your life. And being a human being, you are not supposed to be discriminated upon against any other forms of distance, either being by tribe, religion, or sex, or the location you come from. Once you are a human being, you are entitled to certain rights. So for the team, I must also first and foremost thank the organizers, particularly the foundation here. And he specifically asked me to commend the founder, who is Ashraaf, is his very good friend. And truly, he would have loved to be here, but he said I should just extend this greeting to you because it is much of this. Because what you are doing now is also part and parcel of the Commission's mandate. In life, continuous education is very, very important. The moment you think that you have known it all, then certainly you'll be doomed for it. So we must continue to meet in this kind of fora and educate ourselves about certain things that are happening. The keynote address delivered by the Executive Secretary of Nomadic and Al-Majri Commission was actually a key opener, both in terms of Islamic perspective and also the current situation in the country. I was touched seriously, particularly with the issues happening in Maiduguri and several other conflict zones. Particularly if you go to like Zamfara now, there are quite a lot of issues. And with the conflict situation, it is pretty difficult for even the parents, not to talk of orphans and other children, to enjoy certain rights. For example, the Commission has taken quite a lot of initiative to ensure that children, including the orphans and also the vulnerable, enjoy their rights. And some of these rights that a child is entitled to is the right to education, right to health, right to upbringing, and also welfare. These are key rights that as a child, or as an orphan or a vulnerable person, you are entitled to enjoy. And part of the initiative that the Commission has taken to address some of these things are, one, we create public awareness, just like we are gathering here now, to remind ourselves of our respective responsibility to deal with the situation. So the Commission constantly creates public awareness as to some of the rules and regulations that gives other orphan or any child the right to education. And the one that comes into mind is the Convention Against the child's right, which is a convention right from the United Nations. So as a country, if we sign into any international convention, we are bound to domesticate it within the country. We have domesticated the Convention Against the Right of a Child to be the Child's Right Act, which I believe quite a lot of some of us here are also aware of. And to be sincere with you, part of the challenge is that a lot of us do not actually know the Child's Right Act. And it's an instrument, very vital instrument, that you must use to enforce the rights of the child. And since 2003, that the Child's Right Act was enacted in Nigeria, we have quite a lot of other states that are even yet to domesticate it. Because of our federal nature, once the federal government domesticates such legislation, the respective states also are expected to also domesticate it within their state purview. And this Child's Right Act, it will interest you that there are few states up to this moment that have not actually domesticated such rights. And largely they are from the northern Nigeria. And when we are talking about this issue of abandoning children or not even taking care of children as parents, largely you can see the quite number of it is in the northern Nigeria. And some of the states in the north now that have not actually adopted, you have Borno, you have Kano. You can imagine Kano as a big city as it is. It has not domesticated the Child's Right Act, which is an instrument that you can enforce some of this right for children and vulnerable groups to enjoy. You have also Gombe, Bauchi, Adamawa, and several others, but 8 of the states have not actually done it after 21 years of establishing this law. So this is a major challenge that the Commission also is facing, and some of these hindrances, some of them attributed to culture and religious belief. So for goodness sake, how can you as a parent start kicking against something that will enhance the right of a child, giving him education or whatever it is, based on your cultural belief? For some of us, even here in Abuja, can you believe that if you go to the suburbs of Abuja, there are other areas that the culture now still permits killing of twins, even children at their infant ages, in Abuja here. And these are part of the challenges we are facing. Not to talk of, say, being an orphan or even a child. Even as you are born, once they decide that you do not follow the tenets of the culture, they immediately terminate your life. It happens even here in Abuja. And the Commission has already been taking that also. And then also the legal reforms. Like I said, the laws are there, but unfortunately, the implementation is always very low. And people are not even aware of it. That means the knowledge gap is there. Of course, we monitor some of this implementation of the law with a view to ensure that if there are violations, we now address it. And the Commission, to be sincere with you, we have a full-fledged department that is in charge of women and children. And the essence of it is to make sure that, you know, women and children, they have a classification of vulnerability, which is not really mature. So the Commission, in its own wisdom, decided to establish a department to take care of that. And we address issues of domestic violence, non-attending of schools, and several others under this department. And then we feel that also, to address that, we now establish another department, which is a vulnerable group, which includes persons with disability, to be able to benefit from some of these things. Because as a human being, you should not be hindered from enjoying some of this right simply because you have vulnerability or you are disabled because you have other disabilities, which you and I probably are not having. So the Commission has taken these steps, and also we have a lot of challenges, of course. As an institution, funding is one of the key challenges. And based on this fact, we are unable to implement or monitor effectively all the 36 states of the Federation about the issues of child's right and also education. Similarly, the Commission has states across the 36 states of the Federation, and the essence of it is to allow other parents or children to have access to some of these remedies, assuming there are violations regarding to these issues. And then, of course, we will continue to partner and collaborate with agencies and organizations such as the ASFAT to ensure that the children of vulnerable groups ensure to get their rights of education, health, and also welfare. Thank you.
Takbir. Uh, I think the barrister has just given us the legal aspect of the issue and what the Human Rights Commission is doing about it. Now we would like to hear from our own, the Director of Women and Children, Ashraaf Islamic Foundation, Dr. Olajumoke Alake Jenyo.
Yes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Yes, please permit me to Professor A.O. Hamed and my second father, Dr. Aliago. And I will also use this medium to are you our student? I said, no, I'm not your student, but I want to be your student, but they don't want me to be your student. He said, what happened? I said, I want to take a PhD form. And immediately he took me to the admission room, and the admission had closed. He took me there and he requested that the admission form should be opened, and I was granted the admission. Yeah. So I want to thank you for that, sir. And yes, so also highly distinguished guests present, our mommies, our daddies, our royal fathers, I salute you all. I will just go straight to what I've been asked to do. The chairman of Ashraaf Islamic Foundation tasked us, we can solve this, how we can provide solutions to these issues of out of school children, parenting and all that. And because if we look at it, yes, and there are a lot that they can do. Our royal fathers can use their influence to be role models, to show us how empathy should be, how you should treat children, with love, how you should handle the issues of vulnerable children, orphans, and all that. And I wish she had more time to talk. So, techniques of parenting. Because parenting on its own, if you want to look at it, we can use 1 week. A whole lot of things has infiltrated the society, our culture, and all that, even technology. So there's a need on what parenting should be. There's a need for us to appreciate education. Right now, so many ladies, so many in the society now, if you look at the laces that some females that we have in our wardrobe, you'll be shocked. My boss is smiling. If we look at the laces that we have, the jewelries we use, if we look at the laces that we have, the jewelries we use, the parties we go to, wallahi will be shocked. Meanwhile, some of us, our kids are not in school. Some of us have orphans on our streets. They don't go to school. We have people in our villages. We have a criminalization of abandoning children. We have so many irresponsible parents. I'm sorry to say, but that's for lack of a better word, that's the way I'm going to put it. We have a whole lot of irresponsible that they just keep giving birth. They keep giving birth without looking at if their income can actually take it, or if they have the all it takes to even take care of that child, because they know that the law will not take them, will not punish them. That is why we keep doing that. Though we know that there are orphans that the circumstance is that way, probably because they've lost their parents or because of conflicts and all that. But there are other issues too that we should not be shy away of talking about. We should bring it out. Some of our parents have luxury cars. Gone are those days that some parents will walk. They will be walking because of their children. They will walk. They will not even buy cars. But some children, I'm telling you. So it's time for us to start looking at those things, and also we can pick what is happening in some countries that are doing well, like issues of alternative home. Yes, those are things that when we review our Child Right Act, those are things that we infuse in it. Because when we have a child, a alternative care, that's a legal way of another family can incorporate an orphan in their home and give that kind of child a kind of a family setting, which is one of the ways that even Islam has asked us to use in promoting our children, or to use in taking care of our children. So we need to look inward and develop a lot of local initiatives. Our royal fathers need to look inward. They need to look inward. Let's look at those people in our society. Let's do a mapping. I'm from Ofa, and I asked my mom one day, because I used to do research and I know that there are a lot of prominent people there. And I asked my mom, I said, Mommy, why is it that in Ofa they don't love themselves? And the reason why I asked that was because I made an attempt to meet some people that I know that are from, I anxiously go and meet them, that I am from Ofa, and they don't see it as anything. They don't even care. So there's a need that we should start doing things like homecoming. Let them come home and see what the issues in society are, and let's see how they can address it. And this awareness creation is not what we should stop. This is something that we should keep revisiting. We are just starting it. We have not even started at all. We are just picking it. So we need to look at it. We need to do a mapping of how we want to do this. Have timelines to it. Revisit it. Monitor it. Look at it if it is evolving, if it is making sense. Because having a larger number of population that are Muslims, that are orphans, is something that we should be shy of, and we should do something about it. And there are no even to get data on people, on children that are orphans. It's difficult. It's difficult. So these are things that we should do. There are technology here and there. We can leverage on it to get database. We can leverage on it to monitor, to collect data, and to monitor and evaluate whatever policies that we have put there to do. So there's also need for effective coordination and collaboration. So when I was doing my research, I found out that there are a lot of stakeholders, NGOs, that keep duplicating efforts. So there's a need that there should be this collaboration and coordination of these efforts, so that we can at least harness it as much as we can. And our mothers, Mommy, Daddy, please, we need to go back home. Oh, please. Gone are those days. I remember my mom and some people, they used to tell us that they did not even buy house. When my mom was to send us to school, please, let me just end with that story, sir. When my mom was to send us to school, my dad is late now for 23 years, and we are 6. When my mom was to send us to school, and she was paying our school fees, she said that, okay, we'll go abroad and study. That's our father's aim. Our father's wish. Our elder sister went to meet her that everybody's buying house. My mommy said that these are my houses that will never fall. That was what she said. She said, they are my houses that will never fall. Please, mothers, we need to start singing that song, and we need to put it into action. We need to put it into action. Let's give birth to the number of children that we can take care of. Let's be sincere with ourselves. Let's give birth to the number of children that we can take care of. Let's be ready to support these men. Men are dying. Women are dying. But men are dying more. Let's look at it. Let's look at how we can support them. We shouldn't rest all the responsibilities on them. That men, they are the fathers. So let's look at how we can.
Allahu Akbar.
Thank you very much.
It's like Dr. Jumoke has, stolen the entire crowd behind her, and if we are to conduct an election here, she will win us. Thank you very much. Before I go to the last person, I would like to quickly interpret this in 1 minute. Let me start from Dr. Jumoke. Dr. Jumoke has actually opened our eyes into some issues that àwọn nǹkan tí àwùjọ wa tí a mójútó. Àwọn èèyàn ń kọ́lé, wọ́n ń ralẹ̀, wọ́n ń ra góòlù tí ó sì sí àwọn ọmọ wọn nílé ìwé. Wọn ò fáwọn ọmọ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Àwọn obìnrin òde pátí tí wọ́n lọ ó jẹ wọ́n lógún ju kí wọ́n mú owó láti fi kún ọkọ wọn lọ́wọ́ láti rán ọmọ lọ iléèwé gíga. so fún díẹ̀ yìí àwọn ọkùnrin náà Dr. Jùmọ̀kẹ́ jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé a kàn lè máa bí ọmọ tó wù wá kalẹ̀, a ní ìgbéníjà láti rí i pé a ṣètọ́jú àwọn ọmọ iye tá a bá lè bí, iye tá a bá lè tọ́jú ní ká máa bí. Ẹni tí ò kápá ìyàwó méjì kó dúró lórí ẹyọ kan, ẹni tó ò kápá mẹ́ta kó dúró lórí méjì, ẹni tí ò kápá mẹ́rin kó dúró lórí mẹ́ta, ẹni tọ́lọ́run bá sì fún lágbára kó fẹ́ mẹ́rin. So ní láfikún àwọn brother wa tí wọ́n wá láti Human Rights Commission wọ́n jẹ́ ká mọ̀ wípé ilé ìjọba Human Rights Commission responsibility wọn ni nǹkan tá à ń ṣe, pé nínú mandate wọn ni nǹkan tí Ashraaf ń ṣe lé nìyí, pé ọ̀gá àwọn ò lè fọwọ́ yẹpẹrẹ mú pé nítorí àwọn ti dá unit kan sílẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ àwọn tí ń mójútó àwọn ọmọ aláìní àti àwọn ọmọ tí wọn ò ní olùtọ́jú. Àwọn dẹ̀ tún ní unit tó ń take care àwọn obìnrin àti àwọn alábíamọ láti rí i pé ọ̀rọ̀ parenting àti ìmọ̀ tọ́ ọmọ títọ́ kò fún wa ní ìṣòro ní Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n tún wá jẹ́ ká mọ̀ yìí pé àwọn àṣà burúkú kan tó ń wà o tí ó ń dá wàhálà lẹ́ Nàìjíríà, pàápàá l'Àbújá yìí níbi tí wọ́n ti ń pa àwọn ọmọ ìbejì, pé tó dẹ̀ fẹ́ àmójútó. Níkànnì ọ̀rọ̀ wọn ni pé Child Rights Act láti bí 20 ọdún lẹ́kan ni Nàìjíríà ti ṣòfin lórí ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn ọmọdé. A sì rí àwọn state tí wọ́n ti implement òfin yìí, àmọ́ púpọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n tí máa mú lò ilẹ̀ Haúsá ló wà, tí ń fi ń yé wa pé lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ bíi bíi 80% nínú 100 ilẹ̀ àwọn mùsùlùmí ni wọ́n wà. So kí a ṣe ìgbéníjà fún àwọn ìjọba wa, particularly àwọn tó wà ní ilẹ̀ Haúsá, káwọn náà kàn ṣe kíni kán mófin náà lò, so that a fi máa rí ẹ̀tọ́ àwọn ọmọ wa fún wọn. Kò jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. I would like to invite an associate professor at the University of Abuja and the chief imam of Ansarudeen, Imam Dr. Laufe, to share his view and that of Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let me stand on that established protocol because of the time. But let me just say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You see, as a teacher, anytime, any day you are given a topic, even when you are sleeping, you shouldn't be panicked to come and express your own feelings and your own contributions to the development of education in our community. And if we look at the topic, parenting and child education in Nigeria, honestly speaking, we parents will have a very big role to play. And charity begins at home. If you want our children to be excellently okay, anytime, any day, number one, we must be a role model. A role model in such a way that let them see it in you that you really love education. Anytime, any day you are discussing, your children should know that without education, you are nowhere to be found. And that is what we should be doing all the time. Be a role model. Don't be condemning education. The Yoruba normally say, "Gbogbo àwọn òwe tẹ́ ẹ kà náà, kílẹ̀ fi ṣe ṣe bí àwọn ṣe ń wáṣẹ́ káàkiri ni. So those statements, they are as old as Nigeria itself, because bá a bá kàwé kò sí nǹkan kan tá a lè ṣe. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kejì ń bẹ, overseas child education. You must let them realize that education is compulsory. You see, when they are discussing about Boko Haram, the issue of Boko Haram, if you understand it very well, they have seen those who are educated, who are very brilliant, but they are not useful to the society. And that's why they say Boko is haram. In the olden days, the Hausa will tell you, Karatun Boko yana hana ibada. That was in the olden days. When you are educated now, you must get yourself prepared, especially the sisters and women. We'll keep them at home. In the olden days, we don't allow them to have education. And that is why you see them, the husband will marry them 2, 3, 4, and then they will just say, just stay at home. No need of you working. But the thing has changed. We must carry everybody along to know the importance of education in our society. Now, provide pleasant, you just need to let them know the environment you are staying, let it be conducive for them. You are living in one apartment with your children, and then you don't struggle to get them all what they needed to be well educated. The environment is very, very essential. Whenever you are living, make sure that your children, you monitor them in such a way that they don't mix their assignments. More so, we need to give them constructive criticism. Don't just be arguing with them unnecessarily. You know, some parents, when they have problem with their wives, they will be accusing themselves, raising questions of themselves, why their children are with them. So that one, we are not sending good signal to these children. So you must be very careful whenever you are addressing your children on the importance of education. Whenever they give the assignment in school, as a good parent, call them. What are those things they ask you to do today? Let me see. If you are not lettered, at least by the time you call them, instead of you allowing them to be playing ball all the time, at the end of the day, we teachers, whenever we enter hall to monitor exams, any student you see looking at the invigilator that's not concentrating, that person is ready to steal. And that's what normally leads to examination malpractice. We know them very well. There was a day I caught a final year student. He entered the exam hall with already done exams. He backed it like this. And then when he entered the exam hall, after 30 minutes, he brought the one he has already smuggled in, and then he was looking at it, reading, writing as if he's so serious. Then I said, you have tried though. You have really done well. You are very brilliant. So by the time you do all this, you are really helping the children. More so, sharing your personal experience. When you are in school, what are those things you normally take to school? You know, these days we spoil them, give them indomie, give them this, give them that. Too much of food. They will just go back to the classroom and be sleeping. At the end of the day, they will become so dull. Then you now be thinking that what is wrong with this baby? Little food. Then you monitor them. And when they come back, allow them to relax. We need to be doing all this in order to carry them along. You know, it's very rampant within us, especially those of us who pass through Makaranta with our scholars, with our malams. You monitor the teacher that will come and be teaching your children at home. If that teacher is not strong enough, don't allow them to destroy your children. These days, many university students, I'm very sorry to say, they are not speaking good English. And when you find a very vital role to see that our children, they were well educated in the society. Thank you.
Takbir. Is parenting heavy and less, about the plight of the orphans and vulnerable children. To do justice to this, I would like to just give 1 minute to Deaconess and Dr. Jenyo. 1 minute. I want to be biased. So, gender equality. I want to support the female gender, the plight of orphans and vulnerable children.
Do my PhD. I want to go back to school. Learning has no limit. Because when you are empowered as a parent, there are certain decisions you will not take. And then from Ministry of Women Affairs, the conditions they give to adopt or to foster a child are so stringent that I know so many people who are willing to take these children, but I don't know what is wrong with Ministry of Women Affairs. And sir, today, I make bold here to say that we should think of establishing a commission for children. If we do that, it will solve this, because it's affairs and they have a child's department to an extent that it becomes so cumbersome for them to take care of issues. She reminded me of a story. My grandmother called me when I have a brother who lived a cousin who lived in Kaduna. I went to the house, they fought, and me, from my experience, I don't separate fights, because I've seen one of my in-laws in the process of separating fights, they hit her in the head and she died. Since then, I vowed never to separate fights. So when we went home, this issue was raised and they asked me, what did I do? I said I did not do anything. Why? I said it's none of my business. My grandmother then said, oh, look at marriage. Marriage that used to be done with men and women. Even if you are not a grown-up, I'm trying to translate my local language into English. Even when you are not old enough to be into marriage, but now look at marriage, it has become child's play for boys and girls. So ever since boys and girls came into marriage, things fell apart. We should also know the words of it. Then the role of NGOs. Somebody mentioned it. So many NGOs do the same thing. Let me round up with this story. I went on a course on child trafficking. And we visited 3 NGOs. I was so shocked about the thoroughness these NGOs kept on traffic victims, then offer only when you want to talk about them. They have one for orphans, another one for vulnerables. It's not working. Right from, I hope you can hear me. This one is working. Yeah, it's working. Okay. We checked through their records.
Thank you, ma.
1 minute, please.
Thank you, sir. When he asked the question about we should give our take or my take on issues of plight of vulnerable children and orphans, I started thinking, and I was imagining child trafficking, child soldiers, and all that. And I told myself that, yeah, it's possible. And right now, the problem we have, it's if we look at the issues, these issues, the things that has caused this, 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 problem to everybody now in the society. she mentioned one of it, which is, that's our mommy, she mentioned one of it, which is parenting. Yes, parenting has caused part of it, but issues of conflict has caused part of it. Failure of the government sector too, or inefficiency has also caused part of it. And who are the government? We are the one. We are the one in the government. It's people like us that are in the government. So, but what do we need to do to fix it? We have started talking about it. And I know that we will sail through. So, let's look at those, how do we take these children off the streets? How do we take them off the streets? Nobody can just go have stringent conditions on how to adopt a child. Ma, I'm privileged to participate in their meetings quarterly. This security sector meeting quarterly at the Minister of is the Minister of Women Affairs that organizes that meeting. So all the gender desk officers of the security institutions are all a part of it. And ma, if you look at the reason why they do that, in fact, you will greet them. Because when these people take these children, they take these orphans in and they use them as slaves. Their children will be sleeping. And these children will be the one doing everything. So I think it's time that we should look at the genuine ways of taking these children off the street. And from my own research as a researcher, it starts from issues like this. Let us talk. Let us brainstorm. Let us see how we can get the food they have in their store. Subhanallah. The bags of rice are ways that we can identify people that have the capacity. Community.
I think the discussants have been able to share their opinions regarding the subject matter. Now we are in the interaction. Please, can we get a mic?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. As we all know, my name is Alhaji Abubakar Ibrahim Yaro, the Esu of Buhari. Alhamdulillah, this is a good thing. The teaching coming from Maulud, from Ashraaf Islamic Foundation. Alhamdulillah, the topic I'm hearing or what I've heard today is really touching. As it implies, parenting and children education in Nigeria are praising the plight of an orphan. Let me throw this as a question. Who is an orphan? Who is an orphan? But to my own understanding, an orphan is not that one that he doesn't have father, that doesn't have mother. Believe it is somebody that give a listening ear. That is the orphan. The fact remains that you can see somebody has his father. His father is a general in army. His father is a minister. His father is an administrator. His father is a royal father, a chief. That one, he is very stubborn because he believes that his father is a general. He doesn't listen to teachers. And at the end of the day, tomorrow, where will he find himself? But you can see an orphan that doesn't have father, he doesn't have mother, but he has a guardian. And if he listens very well, he obeys the teachings of becoming a leader in Nigeria. So if that is true, the person that doesn't give a listening ear, even if he has parents, that person is an orphan. Now, back to we as parents. We as parents, who can agree that he should be punished because of an offense that his child did? Can you believe that they should punish you because your parent has committed offense? Or your child committed offense? by a brother of a father. And in our culture, generally, father or any other relations. But today you can see a child growing with the parent. And now, if that child is going to school or whatever he's doing, you can see the way they are pampering that child. You don't even allow another parent to talk to your child because he has committed offense. You see a mother, by experience, today I'm the Central PTA Chairman of Buhari Area Council. And I've seen many mothers coming to school to fight teachers. And that thing that you are doing to a child, that is what is throwing back to society today. And as you know, many of us have said a lot of things regarding to this. The way we are pampering our children, that is what is giving us back this thing today. And in a traditional institution, I know.
Thank you very much, sir. Takbir.
Allah Akbar.
I think we now go to the entire participants for question and answering section, which we are going to do within the next 5 minutes. Every other person who desires to speak will be captured during the goodwill message, and they can hear their views. Please, I want to attend to our mothers first. Any question, comment, or addendum you want to?
While gathering questions, sir, if you can allow us, we can move on with good messages to invite.
No. Please, any question from this side? Okay, there is no question from our mothers. No question. The last. Okay, please, can you give him straight to the question, no comment?
Good afternoon. Please, I want any of our speakers to talk to us about family planning in Islam, because our keynote speaker talk about how you can easily become an orphan. One of our mothers has also said we should control our childbirth. So in Islam, any of our speakers should just kindly give us some tips about family planning.
Thank you very much. Any other person? Okay, a lady is here.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
My questions goes to the two lecturers. Let me say, sorry. I just want to know, is parenting